مخلص لي يا أخي في صحبتي.
The community to the London attacks has been swift and apparently unanimous. These killings had absolutely no sanction in Islam. But it is a community in shock, asking itself how apparently devout young men could commit such acts of terror in the name of their religion.
Condemn what happened in London and the people who perpetrated these actions in London. As Muslim youth, we have a great duty in this country of uniting and coexisting with our fellow citizens. And yes, after the 7th of the 7th, it has become harder, but it's a challenge, and it is a challenge we will fulfill with the help of our elders. And that is why we are calling upon the Muslim community at large to stay calm, to begin to interact into society, not to have assimilation, to integrate, i.e. not have assimilation, to become better human beings, to speak to each other, to speak to individual imams. And if we, and we said very clearly, if any of the Muslims are watching this, if anybody sees any individual acting suspicious or doing anything which is illegal, then it is an Islamic duty upon every person or that person to report such activities to the police and to the authorities.
The Home Secretary John Reid has emphasised the fundamental importance that all communities work together in the fight against terrorism. It comes a day after 3 men were charged with conspiracy in connection with the suicide bombings in London on July the 7th, 2005, which killed more than 50 people. Well, let's speak to Shafiq Mohammed from the Ramadhan Foundation, who's in our Manchester studio. Shafiq, what's your reaction to John Reid's statement?
Well, first of all, if I could just comment on the arrest yesterday, I would urge the communities of Leeds and West Yorkshire and anywhere else in the United Kingdom that if they have any evidence or any information in relation to the 7th of July attacks, to contact the police to ensure that the people who carried out such an evil act are brought to justice. Islam tells us that killing of innocent people can never be tolerated, and the only way we can put an end to this sort of terrorism is by making sure that the people who carry such activities out are brought to justice.
We've just heard you say what a lot of people want to hear Muslim leaders say, that Muslims should cooperate with the police if they know anything about bad people who are plotting against society. But we just don't hear it often enough, do we?
Well, I don't know where people, obviously BBC and other news networks will give us more opportunities to say it. I've been saying it day in, day out. Only recently the Ramadhan Foundation held a special event titled Tackling Extremism in Rochdale.
memorial over the impact of the war on terror on their communities. The event was organised to discuss why terrorism happens and how it can be defeated. Speakers called for more to be done about extremism.
We recognise there are people who claim to be Muslim who are killing innocent people, which goes against Islam. We intend to take them on. This is the first of a series event, and we hope that the government wakes up to reality and supports us in our campaign.
I'm looking at how we as communities, faith communities as well as the wider community, can work together, come together in eradicating this cancerous growth that we have in our society.
Turn to our main story. We can cross to, I think we can cross to Manchester, as it can speak to Mohammed Shafiq, who's from the Ramadhan Foundation, an Islamic youth group set up to counter extremism in Britain. Good evening to you.
Good afternoon, Tim.
What is the response as you're hearing it from the Muslim community this evening?
Well, first of all, utter devastation, utter anger and frustration at the terrorist attacks in Glasgow and in London. If I could first of all please offer my deepest support and admiration for the police and security services in their determined efforts to find and protect the United Kingdom. There can be no justification for terrorism, whether it be here in the UK or anywhere abroad, and we've got to come together as a nation, we've got to unite, and we've got to put an end to this terrorism. And today it's about urging anybody, any part of the country, anybody who knows anything about these attacks to get in touch with the police urgently, because it's about saving lives. We have to all react responsibly. We have to ensure that we recognise that there are a small minority of people who claim to be Muslim who want to kill innocent people. But at the same time, we have to respect the rule of law.